So in this section of the frequently asked questions, we're going to talk about frequently asked questions for flower finisher. Online on Instagram, we get questions a lot of like, what's the difference between this and the top dress bloom? The basic difference would be this would be micronized a lot finer, so it could be mixed into water and immediately available. It also has obviously a cacophony of different ingredients that we can go on with later, but in reality, this is meant to be used the last 4 weeks of flower to harden up and finish off the plants. And it would also be used for a PK boost during the week of transition as a top dress to increase the flower site productions.
Why is it so expensive compared to your top dress bloom?
Well, it's more expensive because it's a quarter of the application rate. It has a lot of phosphorus solubilizing bacteria in it. Trace minerals, cobalt, zinc, manganese, iron. There's so much more added value to this product and how it's used, and it's a precision application versus a broad scale application, which would be the bloom.
What I get a lot is, what's the best way to apply this product? Foliar spray, soil drench, top dress?
Okay, well, that's going to depend on the type of crop you're growing, the strain, if you're an outdoor, indoor, greenhouse, the environment you're growing in. But what I can say is that we have a lot of our customers in Hawaii calling us saying that they're foliar spraying this product about a teaspoon per gallon of water once or twice a week between week 2 and week 5. So for the top dress, people who are transitioning were calling us saying, hey, as a PK boost, this is doing tremendous things for creating flower sites, going into bloom and helping it launch into bloom. So the week of transition, we recommend doing a top dress. If you're in like a 5-gallon pot, I do a tablespoon. If you're in a 100-gallon pot, I do half a cup. And that would create a nice PK boost.
Is this product soluble? Is it flowable? Can I put it through irrigation lines?
So it's a very fine powder, and we see people putting it through irrigation lines that don't have the really micro emitters or micro filters, because there's some particles that come out of this, probably from like the zeolite and a little bit of the biochar.
So basically, if you were to mix it with water, just filter it through a fine filter, either a nylon stocking, cheesecloth, whatever, same sort of material you would use when brewing compost tea. A lot of people wonder, do I need to adjust the amount of Nature's Pride bloom that I'm using when I start using this, or should I keep using it at full strength?
So that question's easy to answer. So, people have different styles of plants, different strains. Some of them are heavy feeders, some of them are light feeders, some of them are like certain times they don't like too much phosphorus magnesium. But what I can say definitively is that, we have people, you can use the bloom top dress all the way up until about the last 10 days of flower. And people can use the flower finisher with that as like a root drench on a different day, or as a foliar through week 2 and week 5. For plants that are a little susceptible to a little too much food, we would say that you could probably stop doing the Nature's Pride bloom after week 5 and just finish up with the flower finisher and do a drench and a compost tea with it once or twice a week. When it comes to people wanting to use them in conjunction together, you could potentially use both all the way till the end, but you'd want to cut your bloom back, if it's cost prohibitive for you, about 50%. And while some strains can handle it full strength on both, some people just the affordability of it to them, they may say, well, what can I do to maximize my dollars right now? And we'd say the flower finisher is the best way to maximize their dollars the last 4 weeks of flower.
And I think the last one that I get regarding our bloom products is, do I need to flush with them? And if so, when do I do that? How long do I have to flush for?
So flushing, that depends on the market you're selling to. Some people want that kind of white ash look to the finished product when it's done being smoked, and some people want the full flavor, full resin. So what I can tell you is that to get the terpene profile and the cannabinoids at the right amounts, you probably want to feed up until about the last week to 10 days. For the best kind of ash color and content, you want to probably stop feeding about 2 weeks before the plant is finished, because that allows the plant to empty the vacuoles, which is the energy cells almost of where it's storing the food, and that allows the carbon and everything to burn cleaner once you're smoking it.